Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the rainy Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be why you need to remember what happened. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So you need to remember what happened when you were in that relationship. So frequently after time has passed, people will be questioning themselves. Did I do enough? Should I have done more? Was I to blame? Was that relationship going to end anyway? Did they care about me? Did they love me? Did I give everything I had? Well, you realize eventually that the further you get away from the narcissistic relationship, the clearer your mind gets. And the clearer your mind gets, the stronger you get. And then you really get to look back in time and identify all of the poor behaviors that you experienced. Example, gaslighting, the silent treatment, stonewalling, triangulation, the smear campaign, etc. So there will be times on the healing path when you will be questioning yourself, like, is that really what happened? I'm not sure. Well, again, that's gaslighting 101 right there. The thing is, if you're questioning if it happened or not, I'm going to tell you, most likely it did happen. And the reason why it did is because you're in the community, you're on the channel, you're becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. And your sense of reality when you are isolated and you are feeling like you are all alone when you were trapped in that narcissistic relationship, that is not a good place to be. You don't have someone to bounce things off of. You don't have somebody to help you understand what kind of relationship that you were a part of. Now that is when you were in the relationship. Keep in mind, the narcissist wants people to become shells of themselves. They want people to not remember what happened. They want people to lose their identity. They want people to lose their self-worth and their self-respect, etc. This is how the narcissistic abusive cycle just continues to go around in a loop. It goes around and around and around. And when you were in that relationship, you didn't know what you were up against because you weren't taught this in school. So how could you know? But there were some of us who took notes, whether they were mental notes, handwritten notes, or notes on your smartphone when you were in that relationship about the poor behaviors that you were experiencing. I was one of those people. And I couldn't wrap my head around the long list of notes that I took in my smartphone that are still hold true today. I still have the original timestamp from the year. I've never changed it. And that helps me to remember exactly where I was when I did not know where I was. It helps me to remember who I was and now who I am. And it helps keep me galvanized and strong and knowing that where I was is not where I am, not mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, intellectually. You see, I've risen through the fire. I've come through the fire and risen through the ashes like a phoenix. I am now in the third version of myself, the strongest, most galvanized version known to humankind. It is rarefied air. It's a place where you will arrive if you apply the tools that are provided for you on the channel. And if you understand that where you are today is not where you will be in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months, or in 12 months, because the healing path will take time. It will take a lot of time, but in your time you will heal. I did it. If I did it, you can do it. But why you need to remember what happened? Because there will be moments in time on the healing path, even if the healing path, even if you've healed and it's been 2, 3, 4, 10, 20 years, there will be moments when you'll be saying, was that really, did that really happen? Yes, it did really happen. There will be other moments you'll be scratching your head saying, how did I get here? I created a few videos on that not too long ago. When we say things like that to ourselves, and I hear this frequently in one-on-one sessions that I provide, how did I end up here? How did I get here? When you say things like that, that means you are really getting out of the narcissistic fog. And that is a good sign. It's a great sign, because when you're in it, you don't know that you're in it. What you do know is you're working for the narcissist. You're doing anything you can to keep that relationship held together. You were the glue that kept the relationship together. They were the person who was pressing on the gas pedal of abuse. They were the person who was trying to break the relationship day in and day out, week after week, decade after decade. And the narcissist eventually does achieve what their goal was, which is to break the relationship. But along the way, you tolerated and endured so many toxic behaviors: verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, maybe even physical abuse, spiritual abuse. But all these things now are of the past because you have healed or you are healing. You're working towards getting to that mountaintop, that pinnacle of indifference where you no longer care about the narcissist or about anybody from that period of time. But to get there, you have to go through the tunnel. You see, you have to remember certain things that perhaps could be challenging for you to remember. You're gonna have to process things. You're gonna have to see a therapist, journal, meditate, heal childhood wounds, watch videos, read. You're gonna have to slow your life down and stay in that cocoon of boundaries, which is a whole different video I created 2 years ago. The cocoon of boundaries is a place where you are self-isolated. You're not isolated by the narcissist, you're self-isolating, and you don't feel like going out. You don't feel like spending time with your friends or family members. You can't really connect with many people these days because they are living in the everyday fog, and that's not their fault. The everyday fog is just people that just go through life and they don't endure the toxic narcissistic relationship, because the narcissistic relationship, it has changed you forever. You see, you can't unsee what you've seen, and once you reach the pinnacle, the mountaintop of indifference, you will see the world through a brand new set of eyes. They won't be rose-tinted eyes. You'll be seeing things the way they are, not the way you wanted to see them. That is why we need to practice radical acceptance. We need to do all the aforementioned things that I just shared, and we need to really stay in that cocoon of boundaries. Side note, pro tip for anybody who thinks that they've healed, and if they're going back out and they're looking for love or they want to date again, please be cautious. Please tread carefully. Pay attention to the red flags, if there are red flags. Trust your instincts and your intuition. And I'm going to say this again, I strongly suggest you do not get on dating apps. If that's what you're doing, God bless you, good luck, but there's a lot of toxicity on those things. So getting back on track, then why you need to remember what happened, because you will be questioning yourself, specifically if the relationship ended recently. You'll be saying to yourself, what happened? And you'll be missing the narcissist. You'll be pining for them. That means that you're still in the trauma bond, and you have to break that. And that is one of the most challenging things to break. But I did it. If I did it, you can do it. And you need to really understand that the narcissist never had your best interest at heart, not from the minute they met you up until this very exact minute right now. They don't care about anybody but themselves. They don't care about the new supply. They don't care about their own children. They don't care about their parents. All they care about is the here and the now. The narcissist lives for the moment. You live in the present moment. There's a big difference. That is why the narcissist can change direction or change plans on a dime, because if something better comes along for them to do when they already made plans, they'll drop whatever they're doing to do what's more exciting, or what will give them more supply, or what is more stimulating to them. That is why the narcissist cannot introspect. That's why they cannot heal, because there's nothing for them they can't be accountable for themselves. They can't look in the mirror and say, yes, I blew up another relationship. Yes, my own kids won't talk to me, but it's their fault. My own siblings or parents won't talk to me, but it's their fault. You see, when the narcissist can't say these 3 key huge words, which are, I was wrong, I apologize, I won't do it again. And if they can't say those things and actually mean them, which they can't, that means they're a sinking ship. It means they're stuck in that low vibrational quagmire state where they've been existing, and they kept you trapped for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship. But once the tethers are broken, the 4 ties are broken, which are the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie, and you really heal, and you really understand that where you are, maybe it's not where you want to be, but where you're going is where you will be. When you understand these things, that's when you really wrap your head around the narcissist. They're a toxic person. They can't change, they can't grow, they can't elevate. They need to steal people's beautiful, bright, shining light. They need to steal people's energy, people's empathy, love, money, time, resources, relationships, health. They want to take anything they can, and when they're done taking, they want to take as much more as they possibly can, because the narcissist is always on an endless search, looking for the next new shiny object. There is no stability in a narcissistic relationship. There is no serenity, no calmness, no peace. What you get is drama, distraction, manipulation, lies, cheating, stealing, deception, being deceived. You get nothing of the goodness of what a human being has to offer. You get all the dark side, all the toxicity. Think about this one. When you met the narcissist, most likely they were wearing a mask. They were manipulating you. They were tricking you and trapping you, and they were keeping you stuck in that fog. They were keeping you thinking that they would change, keeping you thinking that they would improve, and keeping you thinking that they could do better. Well, they never did any of those things. What they did is they only got worse over time, which turns into whom? All these people, they all turn into somebody called come on, you can do it, say it with me. 1, 2, 3, yes, the aging narcissist. And the aging narcissist is scattered all over the planet, and they are not a pretty sight to see. These are people who are living in decades gone by. These are people who are wearing clothes from decades gone by. They're using a lexicon from years gone by. They're thinking that they're cool. They're trying to hang out with younger people to keep their circle group younger so they can feel younger about themselves. But what the aging narcissist does not do is they don't look in the mirror and say, yeah, I have some wrinkles, I have some gray hairs, and you know what, I'm gonna embrace my change. No, They're going to try and putty it all up and super glue a new mask on and not look in the mirror and see the aging narcissist. They're going to look in the mirror and see somebody who's 20 years old or 25 years old who thinks that they can still do the things they used to be able to do. You need to remember these things. You need to remember all the times that you were in the proximity of the narcissist, maybe even on the couch watching TV or something or a movie, and you couldn't have felt more alone. You would look over at the narcissist and they'd be on one of their 3 smartphones and they would just give you a grin or a smirk or a stare or a glance, and then they'd say, what are you doing? And you would say, well, what are you doing? Aren't we supposed to be watching this movie or documentary? And they'd say, oh no, you go on, it's okay, I'll just be on my phone, I'll be working, wink, wink. What are they really doing? Well, I can assure you they weren't really working many times. They were probably looking for your replacement or the new supply. But they would want to keep you satiated and make you feel like you were spending quality time with them. But no, that wasn't quality time at all. That was just giving them more time to keep you trapped and stuck in the relationship while they were looking for your replacement, or maybe even flirting or grooming new sources of supply. You need to also remember all the times that you would be home and the front door would open. Would it be Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde that would enter that door? You never knew what you were going to get. You need to remember all the times you were being gaslit and not being supported in your version of what happened in the past. You need to also remember that the narcissist, how many times they triangulated you at restaurants or on planes or with people that didn't even exist, all the made up stories and all the fallacies that they would tell you about the people at work that they were with that may or may not have turned out to be true. You need to remember all the smear campaign that you endured, perhaps you're still going through it, which is when the narcissist is trying to drive a wedge between you and anything that matters to you, specifically with your own kids or with neighbors, colleagues, coworkers, acquaintances, friends, people in hobbies and or communities that you were a part of. You see, the narcissist was always trying to divide. They were not trying to build. They were trying to conquer. They were not trying to create. They were trying to manipulate. They were not trying to improve. And that is a very different mindset that you have between you and the narcissist. The narcissist is the polar opposite of you. They are not the yin to your yang. They are not your soulmate. They are not the love of your life. They are not the best thing since sliced bread. They are your enemy. They are a person who is jealous of you, who is envious of you, who many times wants to be you. And yes, I do mean that. When I say that, sometimes people will say to me during sessions, like, what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what that means. The narcissist looks at you, or looked at you, as, like I talked about, a beautiful, bright, shining light, an energy source, an abundant, radiant empath, if you will. And they don't possess anything that you have, so they need to capture it. So when they capture you, in other words, they place you in the trauma bond or the devaluation stage, when they do that, it makes them feel good. It supplies them with your energy, and you're getting depleted more and more and more. You see, the narcissist wants what they can't have, and that was you. Understand what I'm sharing with you. The narcissist, they don't have any empathy. They don't have any love. They don't have compassion or caring. All they have is a dark, dark space in that tiny little pea brain of theirs that rolls around the endless Hollywood script that they rewrite every couple of seconds. And either people fit into it or they don't. But if they do or don't, it's only for a short period of time. Maybe it's for a couple hours. Maybe it's for a day, a week, a month, a year, a decade. But eventually, each and every narcissistic relationship expires. They all have an expiration date, just like that old carton of milk you have way back in the back of the fridge. It's been sitting there for 3 weeks and it's not good, it's stale. That's what happens to the narcissistic relationship. Now, I'm not trying to trigger you or upset you. I'm just letting you know that there are hundreds of millions of us who've gone through the cycle. But you're one of the fortunate ones because you're one of the ones who's getting the wisdom. You found the needle in a haystack. That's why you're in the community. That's why you're getting your cup full. That's why you're paying it forward when you're strong enough. Because there are so many other people that as I'm creating this video and you're consuming it, they are stuck in the cycle. They're in the loop. They don't know how to get out. And each and every day, again, as I'm creating this video, there are people who are entering narcissistic relationships and they have no idea what they're about to get into. And then there are people that are getting discarded and they have no idea that their world's going to be turned upside down. And then there are other people, the people that are creating and executing and planning for an exit plan. These are the wise ones. These are the ones that have gotten the message. They've seen the poor behavior over a period of time and they're realizing that they need to get as far away from the narcissist as they possibly can. Because one more minute in a narcissistic relationship, once you've identified that, is 1 minute too long. And these people, and I was one of them, need to really be patient, calm, stoic, centered, focused, determined, strengthened, and galvanized, and focused on where they are going to. As I mentioned earlier in the video, remember, if where you are is where you want to be, that's a good thing. If where you are is not where you want to be, continue to plan, continue to execute, and know that each and every day you're getting stronger, you're healing, you're moving towards that pinnacle of indifference. and understand this, that you need to remember what happened. When I say remember what happened, I'm talking about all the toxicity. That is why so frequently, again, during one-on-one sessions, I suggest to people, and I do this every day, and I've done it since a little before Thanksgiving 2020, which is a couple weeks after I got discarded, which is journal. If you don't journal, I strongly suggest you do it. Get a good pen, get a good notebook, a good journal, and write down your experiences from the past if you feel strong enough to do it, because it will really open your eyes. And you could begin with something which is called the pro-con list. Maybe you're still in the relationship right now and you're looking to remove yourself. What you could do is just get out the sheet of paper and write down the benefits of you staying in the relationship and the not so good things of you staying in it. That is the pro-con list. It will open your eyes. But what you need to do is remember. Same thing with ruminating. There'll be times when you'll be ruminating post-narcissistic relationship and you'll be saying, wow, I'm really pining, or I'm really missing this, the narcissist, or immediate family members or extended family. You know, I'm missing what I had. Well, yeah, I understand that. And that's a period of growth that you have to go through, because by practicing radical acceptance and understanding that that relationship wasn't what you thought it was what it was, then you really slow yourself down. You understand that, no, you're not really missing them. That's the trauma bond. The best thing that's ever happened to you is you not being in the relationship. And again, if you were discarded, my heart goes out to you. If you had to exit it yourself, same thing, my heart goes out to you. But being in these relationships, once you've identified what they are, it will never serve you. It didn't serve you when you were in the relationship. It certainly won't serve you now. That is why the narcissist must be left in the past. That is why you have to take the lifelong learning lessons from the past, not predict the future. And you need to live in the present moment, the here and the now. That's where the doors of abundance will open up for you once you've healed. That's where you will take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book. That's where you will travel the world. You will relocate. You will fall in love again if you want to. You'll create new friendships, maybe even rebuild some older relationships that are not in communication with the narcissist. Maybe you are picking up your hobbies again. Your health is returning. Your finances are returning. Your clarity has returned. This is why you must need to remember. That's why I create videos each and every day as reminders for people to understand that where they were is once where I was, but where I am is not where I was. And my hope is that's where it is with you. You see, each and every day when I create a video, there are new people on the channel and in the community that perhaps this is the first video they're ever consuming. And if it is, my hope is you're getting light bulb moments left, right, and center, and you're understanding how valuable, needed, loved, and cherished you are, and that the narcissist doesn't care about you. But then again, there are people who have been out of the relationship for years, maybe even decades, and they come back and they support the community as well with their wisdom, and they pay it forward and they share their experiences and insight. And that's what I appreciate as well, because these people have gone through the fire. They've done everything they had to do to heal. And many times they didn't know what they were up against, just like myself, but then sure enough, they found that one needle in a haystack and they took the ball and ran with it, which means they really dove deep into themselves and they healed. And they knew it would take time. They knew it would take a mountain of work, but they did it. But the reminders are needed. That's again why I create the videos every day. And I come at these videos from a different angle, a different perspective, a fresh take, if you will, because as I am changing, meaning I am dynamic just like you are. I'm not the same person I was 3 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago. I'm a brand new person today than I was even yesterday, because I'm always learning, I'm growing, I'm teaching, I'm becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. And that's my hope. That's what you're doing as well, because we are not to be standing still. We're not to be trapped in this narcissistic abusive cycle any longer. We are meant to be free, to elevate higher than the sun, the moon, the stars. We are the beautiful, bright, shining light that the narcissist had, and they captured us for a period of time, but we have our health back, our clarity back, our sanity back, our purpose back, and this is not what the narcissist wanted. They wanted us stuck in that low vibrational quagmire state. So you need the reminders. You need to be honest and authentic with yourself, which is something the narcissist can't do. They won't do. They'll never do. The only thing the narcissist will do is slither away onto the new supply, and they will change the mask they wear for the new audience. But remember, as I told you earlier, the aging narcissist is not only a pretty sight to see. They are not a pretty sight to see. But these people, the audiences shrivel up. The audiences dwindle, and eventually the narcissist is left isolated in their own tiny little brain, and they have to look back and reflect when all their cell phone batteries die and the power goes out and the stage is set, but there's no audience there, and they have to look back and say, I really, really did a number on myself. And they also will say this to themselves, how did I get here? Well, I'll tell you how you got there. You got there by blowing up so many lives, by creating disruption, by lying, stealing, cheating, manipulating, and driving wedges between anybody and anybody that you met and anyone that cared about you. This is the life of the aging narcissist. This is the life of the narcissist. They cannot introspect and they cannot change. They only deteriorate. They only get worse over time. So when the narcissist is stuck in an elevator and there's no cell phone service and they're trapped in that elevator for 2, 3, 4 hours waiting for it to get repaired, what do they have to do? They have to look and introspect and say to themselves, oh my gosh, this is a living hell. It's usually in my brain and I can usually reframe it and I can change a mask or I can distract myself. But now I'm trapped in this elevator and I do nothing but think and think and think. And that will eat them up. That will consume them. That will create a narcissistic injury for them, by them, because of them. And that is their life. That's their destiny. That's not your destiny. Your destiny is here, higher than the sun, the moon, and the stars. So continue on the path moving forward each and every day. Continue to be the best person you can. Continue to do the right thing even when no one's looking. Continue to stay in that cocoon of boundaries if necessary. Stay off dating apps. Focus on yourself. Heal. Get your cup full. And then get back out in the world and do whatever you want to do. But my hope is you're going to be contributing back to the world in such a greater manner, in such a greater platform than you were earlier. No matter what your occupation was, no matter how many children you raised, no matter what you've accomplished in life, this will be, if not one of the biggest accomplishments and or achievements you will ever have experienced once you've beaten the narcissistic abusive cycle and you've healed and you've risen through the ashes like a phoenix and you are now in the third version of yourself. It's rarefied air. I am there. I'm waiting for you. And there are so many other people I've helped to get up to the pinnacle of indifference. We are waiting for you. We are reaching our arms and hands down to help you get up here. So there's room for you. Continue to move forward. Continue to understand your worth and your value. And understand that where you are today is not where you will be in the future. Everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the rainy Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you. And I am having so much fun with this rain. I absolutely love it. So I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Remember, pay these videos forward if you feel it can help somebody out. Play the video, play it a few times if it can help you out also. And realize that you are an important, needed, cherished, honored, respected, and loved human being. You weren't told any of those things when you were in the narcissistic relationship. You were told negativity. I don't use negative words. And I don't think in negative fashions. I select and choose my words wisely, and so should you. So from Andrew to you, I'm sending you a huge heart, a huge virtual hug, and continue to know how important and loved and cherished you are. I love you all. God bless you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. And I hope it rains one more day. Bye, everybody.